Well, hello everyone. This is Dr. Todd Osborne, or Dr. Oz, as a lot of you know me, with the Chiropractic podcast. And joining me today is Dr. Zach Wilson, who practices in Waterloo, Iowa. And thank you for joining us today, Dr. Zach. And we just wanted to talk today about, should chiropractors sell supplements in their clinics? And is that something that everyone should be doing, or some people should be doing, or is it just a matter of preference? And what are the pros and cons to doing that? So, Dr. Zach, I'll just open up with you. Tell us a little bit about what you do in practice. Obviously, you're a very top-notch CBP practitioner. Do a lot from the structural chiropractic side of things, and you're a chiropractor's chiropractor. But I think you do have a nutritional component in your office that you've used some, and so tell us a little bit about that, and if kind of why you do some nutrition in your practice.
Well, yeah, we have a structural approach to our care within the clinic, but you can't throw out nutrition and its importance in your body healing, overcoming conditions and diseases, and even supporting the structural side of our body. You know, I think it's kind of funny that, like, that question, should chiropractors be selling nutrients or supplements in their practice? Well, I was thinking about that earlier this morning, and it came to me, and you've probably heard this, what are the two diseases that have, the only two that I'm aware of that have actually been cured by the healthcare professions, and they were nutrient based, right? It was scurvy and rickets, right, and those were both vitamin deficiencies. And so I think, well, if the only things that have ever been cured by the medical profession were because of supplements, because of nutrients being put into the body that they were deficient on, why would anybody want to ignore that side of things? Now, but that begs the question, like, well, you can understand the importance of nutrients or nutrition for the human body, but maybe it shouldn't be present in a chiropractic arena. Like, maybe it shouldn't be in the chiropractic office where people are receiving those nutrients or buying those supplements. But you got to realize what we're doing as chiropractors with the adjustments, even if it's a structural approach with chiropractic biophysics, like in our situation, for a person to get the most out of their care, even in structural rehab, the science, the research supports you need to have adequate nutrient supply to the tissue. And so if you're going to get best outcome for us to get best outcome, the patient needs the right nutrient load for the soft tissue to heal and repair. Okay, well then we got to make sure, as a good doctor, the patient is getting those nutrients in adequate amounts. It's like, well, okay. Well, if they're not going to get it from us, where are they going to get it?
Yeah, and that's the big question that comes into play.
I'll bet that's something that you've experienced in practice too. It's like, if you could imagine and you step back and say, okay, I'm going to rewind tape, I'm going to go back in time, and I'm going to never have a supplement offered in the clinic for people to get, but I know it's important. And you tell every patient coming through, okay, for you to get the best outcome with your condition, you need to get this supplement or nutrient into your system. Right. Go get it. Right. Where are they going to go get it?
Exactly. And quality wise, some of the supplements that are out there that people are going to buy, and we even have problems with patients that do that. They're like, oh, well, I can get it cheaper at Walmart. And I always remember Dr. Lerner always saying, well, if they're buying their supplements there, tell them to flush them down the toilet and eat the box, and they'll be better off, because at least the box maybe doesn't have any of the chemicals and things or the fillers that they're putting in some of the less expensive or cheaper supplements going in there. But I'm on the same page with you. It only makes sense. We as doctors, we know the body, the function, the physiology, but if the building blocks are not there, just like in scurvy or rickets, we could adjust them until the cows come home, right? And without that building block in there, it's, they might do some better. And that's always been my philosophy. And I am probably, at one time in my life, I was probably really viewed as a straight chiropractor, and I kind of had that definition that I'm just adjusting people, and if they get well, they're going to know it was because I adjusted them. It wasn't because they took this vitamin or that vitamin. And I would jokingly say I was never against the nutrition, but I just didn't know about it, and so it wasn't my expertise to tell them. And they'd say, should I take a vitamin? And I'd say, absolutely. And they'd say, what kind? And I'd say, a good one, and that's about what I had. Now, at the time, back when in my previous practice, I had another practitioner that was fantastic with nutrition. And so I would refer to them and say, yes, you should go and get that. But most of us aren't in a situation like that where we have someone specializing in that we trust, and we know that they're going to do a great job with our patients. And so if they're going to get supplements and buy them, then we need to make sure they're getting some leadership and some guidance and a quality supplement in there, because they're, no matter what anybody says, the quality of supplements, if you go to the manufacturers, if you want to go and say, I'm going to make my own brand, you go to the manufacturer and they'll say, here's a shelf of vitamin D, whatever it is, and this is the cheapest down here, and you keep going up, kind of like you're in the bar, and here's the top shelf up here. Now, this is really expensive up here, but it's the best quality that we've got of this supplement. And so people go in and they'll go, okay, well, I want to be at this price point for my patients. So they're generally going to choose in that mid-range where you've got a quality product, but it's still affordable for people. But these large stores and things like that, they're looking at purely profit margin, and so they're like, okay, well, give us this one down here, we can sell that for $15 instead of $40, so load us up on that. And so we want to make sure they're getting a quality product. And so that kind of, my story on that is how I really changed and got into nutrition in the clinic, and I'll always be chiropractic first. Okay. Everyone needs to be checked and adjusted. That's always going to be my principle that I live by. But I got what we would call very sick back in the mid 2010s. Didn't know what was going on. I kind of thought maybe I was dying, but really had no reason for why I was feeling that way. And just my life was really, really in a horrible spot. And I had access to the best chiropractors in the world. I mean, I get to rub elbows with you and a lot of other people here at Aligned, and then Dr. Sweat and some other great upper cervical I mean,
so it wasn't a shortage.
It wasn't a shortage of me going, well, I'm not getting very good chiropractic care. Mm-hmm. And so, and up to that point in my life, chiropractic had always kind of seemed to be the answer.
Yeah.
For everything, and that was kind of where my philosophy was at. But in this particular case, it was not. And I went to another alternative practitioner. She actually was an acupuncturist. She was a doctor of Chinese medicine and a RN. And
Interesting combo.
a very interesting combo. But she was an RN for a while, and then kind of seen that wasn't like hitting the goals. She seen what was happening with people, and she couldn't really help them, and that's when she went into the acupuncture, and then eventually. But she said, "Can I do some testing on you?" And I'm like, "Have at it." I mean, nothing can make it any worse. And she did some testing and found out that I had chronic Lyme, and I was just thankful somebody finally knew what it was. And then she started me through natural supplementation and some other things on a road to getting recovery for that. And it's always going to be something that I have to focus on and concentrate on. But I don't know if you call it in remission or well or what you would call it. But over time, I've explored, the different programs and nutrition and things like that, and it's really helped me. And that's where I decided, you know what, like you were saying, it's like, where are they going to get this if it's not in my clinic? And so that's what really took me down the road, is how much it helped me. And I seen, well, chiropractic's great, but my body just needed some other assistance, and I was able to do it through supplementation and natural means. I didn't have to go get on drugs or anything like that, and I was able to do that. And I realized there's so many of my patients and so many people out there that struggle with similar things, that hey, we can help them. And so that's what kind of started me down the road with that. And of course, studying and learning, testing, and
you
that.
study and you learn, but living it definitely lets you see the light behind the importance of it, and how crucial that can be for somebody else's situation.
Absolutely,
or outcome.
Yeah. And I have my story on it, my testimony, and so that's what I use to talk to other people about it. So.
Yeah, I think if a clinic or a doctor's office doesn't provide a good quality supplement, of course, and patients are left to their own to go get it for themselves, what do they have to go on? The price point. Yeah. And like you said, well, if you just head for the cheapest, you're going to get the crappiest. Yeah. Because that's what the cheapest is. Yeah. And I was noticing that in my own practice with vitamin D years and years ago. I think that was the first supplement I ever started providing, because people started getting on this kick. You probably saw it too, where it got very popular. Vitamin D started hitting the research, which then started hitting healthcare, and all of a sudden everyone's talking about vitamin D, and we're discovering how many things it helps the body with.
Right.
And then they started discovering, well, it's easy to blood test for that, to measure where our vitamin D is at. So now we have a measuring stick, and that helps us to guide clinical protocol. And so I started having patients coming in saying, oh yeah, I had my annual blood work, and they also measured my vitamin D and said it was super low. Oh, and they gave me a vitamin D, or they told me to go get on it. Yeah. So I went to, the store down the road, box store, and I got some vitamin D. I said, okay, well, and then as time went on, they said, oh, I went back in for my blood work again, and my vitamin D is not getting any better.
Yeah, so it's not working.
Yeah, it's not working, right? Oh, it must not be what I need. And so after I saw that over and over and over, something in the back of my head's like, I know vitamin D is important. I can see the research, but why would this person's number not be going up?
Right.
And we know that sometimes digestive issues will stop the uptake of vitamin D. So you might be taking the best vitamin D in the world, but you won't get that number up to a healthy range. But we're talking people where the digestion was very healthy. There should have been no reason why their vitamin D levels weren't going up into a healthy range. And so I kind of dared myself to just, let's let's play around with this quality thing. And so I started, I had a conversation with him about, well, let's switch up the type of vitamin D you're taking. And I got them on a good quality vitamin D. And all of a sudden, the next time they had blood work, like double their numbers. It
Right.
Substantially increased. Okay.
Yeah.
That's proof in the pudding to me. Like, yep.
Yeah, and that's what I would encourage people. There's so much out there now in testing and that where I'm just going to say 20, 25 years ago, it was maybe they went to their medical doctor and got these things tested, but most of the vitamin recommendations were just going to be, oh yeah, you should take a multivitamin, or you should take a D, or whatever it might be, right? And oh well, yeah, we take vitamin C. Yeah, you need vitamin C to help your immune system. But now there's so many available tests out there that, like you said, you can measure with. It's our X-ray,
Yeah.
if you will, and it's like, okay, here's the number, and here's what it is, and you've been taking that vitamin D, and it hadn't gone up. Let's try this one, and we can look at what dosage you should take. We can see here's what it's going to take to get it up there, and then okay, now this dosage will help you maintain, and on vitamin D, it's like, well, I'm out in the sun all the time, and I'm like, okay, I forget what the studies are, but it's something like, I'm like, okay, well, you have to have 75% of your skin exposed 4 to 5 hours a day below a certain line, like you have to be almost in Florida, South Georgia to Florida, for that to actually do that and keep it to the level that it should be.
Yeah.
And I said, there's probably a few people that do that, maybe some lifeguards and people that are out on fishing boats and stuff like that, but
not the majority.
Not the.
I would argue that the majority of the United States population, I don't want to see 75% of their skin for 4 hours a day.
Well, that's true too. That's true too. So anyways, back to it. Testing. I mean, there's gut testing. There's blood tests, saliva tests for hormones. I mean, across the board. So that makes our job a lot easier as a doctor, because we can get this test and actually, have objective findings to say this, and this are going to help give your body the building blocks it needs so it can heal. Your body heals itself, but it's got to have the nutrients in there to do so. And
I'm finding it's probably true in your area too. You and I practice in very different regions of the country, but where I'm at, I'm finding people more and more, they're doing their research. There's so much information available to everyone now compared to 25 years ago. It's nothing for patients to be looking up and doing their own research, and nutrition is becoming more and more commonplace knowledge, how crucial it is for a healthy body. People want to feel good. They want a healthy body. They want to function well. They want to live active many, many years, well into their 70s, 80s. They want to stay independent.
Right.
So they're starting to focus more and more on that nutritional side of life, trying to eat healthier, trying to take the appropriate supplements, get enough protein, all the things. And so as a doctor, like your chiropractic clinic, my chiropractic clinic, like our people that we serve, they want it.
Right.
And when somebody wants it and they realize its value and its importance, they're going to go get it.
Right.
And if they're not getting it from us as one of their doctors, then they're going to just go to the store and get the lousy stuff.
Absolutely.
So if you already know you have people that you care about, they want it, they need it, they recognize the importance of it, I think it's just wise for us. It's almost like doing our due diligence to make sure the people we take care of, the people that are under our guidance, have access and are steered towards a quality product.
Absolutely.
And oftentimes the highest quality products aren't just accessible anywhere. Oftentimes they are exclusive to healthcare providers.
Yeah, absolutely.
So sometimes we almost have to start thinking, hey, it's my responsibility to have certain supplements or nutrients made available for our patients if we truly want them getting best long-term outcome.
Yeah.
And if it's not through us, having somebody, a colleague that you work closely with, to refer them to ensure the right things are being done. But as a business perspective,
sure,
if it's something that you're passionate about, why wouldn't we put it into our own clinic?
Right. And it does open up another stream of income when we just look at it from the business side. Mm-hmm. And of course, we're always looking at doing the best for the patients and their health. But if you are going to do that, it is another income stream into your office. And some offices that may be smaller, and some offices that may be very large if they are really passionate about doing it and having all their patients get on it. But I agree with you, and your patients are coming to you and they already trust you and they are already looking to you as a holistic practitioner. And so they're coming in and they're going to be asking you about these things because they're like, we can't go to our medical doctor and ask them about this, or they don't know where else to get this information, but they are, through, our digital age that we're in now and everything that's out there, like you said, they're learning about this. Or I seen a reel on Instagram that talked about I might need this or whatever, and so they're being intrigued by that, and they're like, I think this is my problem, and what do you think? Do I need digestive enzymes or a probiotic? What do you think? I think I might have parasites. What would you do, doc? And so all that comes into play, and I think it's important that we, they have an avenue for that, and if it can be your office, great. If you choose not to do that, then you do need somebody to refer, just like anything else that they would need concurrent care to be referred to. It's your responsibility. This patient needs that. Then if you're not going to do it, then, hey, they need that elsewhere, and it's your responsibility to refer out for that. And so I guess when people talk about my chiropractic philosophy and so forth with that, it's funny to me that, the whole straighten mixer thing and you're selling vitamins and blah, 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 and so forth. But I thought it was interesting, and I can't remember what book it was. I believe it was The Chiropractor's Adjuster that DD Palmer originally wrote. And he was already talking in there about white flour and sugar and giving nutritional advice back then. And Gonstead had a clinic with a lab in it where he was doing blood testing, and nobody looks at Gonstead of being this dirty mixer, and it might not have been vitamins back then, but Dr. Owen had told me, he goes, oh yeah, he would say, oh, you've got heavy metal, you need to eat beans. And so he was given nutritional advice. It was just then it was more through the food sources. And back then, in the past, the food sources were great nutrition. And now that's another thing we have to look at is even if you're going buying the best organic everything, the nutritional value is lower, and they're finding chemicals in everything now, not even organically grown, all that. So that comes into play. And what I've seen, I've been doing the nutrition for 10, 12 years now. What I've seen that is really becoming a huge thing with that now is detoxes. And because the environment we live in, you can't help, if you drink water, you eat food, and you breathe, you're going to get toxins in. And if your body is not able to get rid of those, then they obviously get stored up, and that creates problems. So detox programs are a big thing right now that are helping a lot of people. It's helped me. Again, I've went through one last year, and just absolutely amazing to me what it did for me. So we're doing that for our patients now too. But back to the the philosophy on it, I'm like, you know what? Here's always been my philosophy. If someone has a subluxation, you can give them all the great nutrition in the world, and they're not going to do so great. If you clear the subluxation, they can be on some pretty poor nutrition, and they still do pretty darn good. The body is amazingly adaptable, and innate is amazing what it can do with some poor nutrition. But what if you get their subluxation cleared and give them great nutrition? What's the body able to do? So that's why I said it's always chiropractic first. I always want to make sure the spine is cleared in that, but adding this other level of getting them the proper nutrition is fantastic. So
yeah, it's a winning combination.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it really is. We know innate is going to be at work, but it has to work through the physical body that it's got.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
In fact, when it comes back to nutrient supplements, vitamins, if I remember right, I was reading that it was a chiropractor that first started and coined that word vitamin. As far as taking vitamins, it was Vitalized Minerals was the first developed product by Dr. Shackley.
Wow.
Yeah, an Iowa guy. Actually.
Yeah, there you go.
Shout out for Iowa, right?
There we go.
But he started seeing the need for that in his patients, just on nutrition. Probably learned it from the Palmers, right? Because he was way back in the early 1900s going through school there. So ignoring the nutritional side, I really feel like whether you're doing it in your own office or whether you're guiding them to another source to obtain it, we really do need to make sure that we're satisfying that component to our patient's health if we really are going to expect the very best outcomes with chiropractic. Like you said, it's a winning combination, right?
Absolutely.
Put that good nutrient with a cleared out nervous system.
Exactly. It
miracles
can't help
happen.
but get better results and healthier people through it. So, well, I appreciate you coming on, and it's been great back and forth on this subject, Dr. Zach. Hopefully for our chiropractic world out there, this has been helpful to some of you that may be considering doing this or seeing the need for it, and we would encourage you to start exploring and go for that and add that into your practice for your patients. And so we appreciate you joining us on the Chiropractic Podcast brought to you by Aligned. And if you'd like any more information, you can certainly look up our website and get information there, or give us a call, and we'd be glad to have someone talk with you moving forward on how we can help you in your practice.